I came back to India in 1975 June. To be exact, on 6th of June 1975. Before that, I was a migrant in US and Australia. I did my cardiac surgery training there, and I thought it will be better for me to go back to my own country and see what I have learned, whether I will be able to implement. So, with that ambition, I came back to India, and I was promised a job in railways, a good job as the specialist surgeon in the Indian Railways. And I came back, and unfortunately, the emergency was declared on 26th of June. So, UPSC, everything came standstill, and I could not get the job. I had only option of joining as the ad hoc AMO at the lowest cadre. But I still decided to work mainly because within 4 days of my coming back, I could do what I learned. That is, one is to do the open heart surgery in railways, in Perambur Hospital Railway. And subsequently, the next week, I could do the first successful coronary artery bypass surgery in the country. And later on, within a couple of weeks, I could do the first infant cardiac surgery on a child with a complex problem. The child was weighing 4.5 kilos. Before that, there was nobody operating on children less than 15 kilos. So, these two were path breaking surgeries in India. So, I never wanted to go back, even though I had the green card and the permanent residence. I decided to stay back. But unfortunately, I had a lot of difficulties to go through, such as within about 6 months I had an income tax rate for no reason. And within another 2 months, I had problem with the enforcement directorate. So, all these things I survived, but professionally I was very happy. I would not have been able to do any of the things which I did if I were in Australia or New Zealand or USA. So, I decided to stay back. But as a result of that, we could do lot of new surgery in Railway Hospital Perambur, which was a non-descriptive hospital, and we became the pioneers of many procedures in this country before All India Institute or Bombay or Vellore. That is how I stayed back. The challenges at that time were many, mainly because of the technology. We did not have the latest technologies what we have today. It were very primitive. Say, for example, we did not have a cold light source for operating. We did not have a headlight. We did not have any disposables, and we did not have proper suture material. When I did the first coronary artery bypass surgery, and subsequently also, I was using what we call 60 or 70 silk, which was used for cataract surgery. There was no Prolene, there was no magnification loop, nothing. My teammates had never seen open heart surgery or coronary artery bypass surgery. when I did the first bypass. So that scenario was very different. Today is very different in the sense we have all the technology. We can do whatever we want, except it is very expensive. When I meet people and talk to the people, they all ask me, why open heart surgery is very expensive? Simple. 75 to 80% of the consumables, disposables used in open heart surgery even today is imported. Naturally, it is expensive. If we have to make it affordable for common man, the only way is indigenization. That indigenization will come only with our own research. But what is government doing for the research? We need research parks. We need basic sciences. None of those things are there. We need medical devices which is manufactured in India. Our Honorable Prime Minister's mantra of Make in India is very good. We have to implement. But the major hurdle is finance. Who gives money? The banks don't care. If they give you money, they need immediate repayment of the interest and then the principals. I am having the same problem. We have started the first medical science park in this country. It has been going on for the past 4 years. We started working, then we were asked to stop by the Environment Ministry. We were asked to stop by the Pollution Control Board, CRZ. We are near a creek of Pulicat Lake, which is 11 kilometers away from the Bay of Bengal. So we had to stop 2.5 years. We paid interest for these 2.5 years without any generation. Banks don't care. And more than that, there is no generation. So banks say that this is an impossible proposition. Any primary research, medical research, has got a long gestation period. That long gestation period is not known to the banks or the financial institutions. If you go to a private investor, he is not interested in any of these things. He wants the money next day. So this is the paradox and this is the irony of this country. People like me who have left migrant status, everything, came back to serve the country, and I have served the country. Because at least I can claim that I did many things for the first time in the country. The first heart and lung transplant was done by us. First infant heart transplant was done by us. More than 3/4 of the transplants done in this country are done by us. So we have, given so much. But who has given us anything? Nothing. It is only pain, sleepless nights and agony. That is all what we have got so far for our service. I don't know. I have no knowledge of it. But I went and met PM and gave lot of inputs. And he appreciated it. And he said he will look into it positively. And after that I had a meeting with PMO also. So I do not know what has happened after that, because I should get a feedback. Anyway, whatever it is, the outlook was very positive. And I am sure something will come out, because we are also in the process of Make in India. We are in the process of, phase 3 trials are over for biological valve. It is with the DCGI. Now, on 24th, we are going to Delhi, because we have been invited to present our 5 projects, but by the CPSCA. 5 projects, hope it will be all clear. But that is for what? It is for the first bioprosthetic valve of the country, rather Asia, and India will be the 3rd country in the world to produce a bioprosthetic valve other than US and Brazil. But nobody understands the implications. When you are paying 1.2 lakhs, we can produce it for 36,000 rupees. When we make biological valve, the pig valves or bovine, that is from the buffaloes, when these valves have been used, clinical trial is over, we have given it to 4 institutions, All India Institute, Chandigarh, SPGI and Bombay, for them to try. So this is at the phase 3. And as far as the bioprosthetic valve is concerned, Georgia Tech is prepared to help us, and University of Minnesota is prepared to help us by doing the preclinical studies. And we are the only people in this country in private which has got large animal experimental facilities. People should come forward. Why are they outsourcing this to other countries? You know the reason? In India, it takes more than 2 years for any of these regulatory bodies to give you yes. China, it takes 7 days. Singapore, it takes 12 days. Brazil, it takes 30 days. India, it takes more than 2 years. Nobody knows when you, and they don't even keep you informed that this will come or why the delay is there. So this is the state of affairs. That is for these central regulatory agencies. Same way, Drug Controller of India also. They should tell us why your project is being delayed. They don't give any reason. So these are all regulatory problems. These are all bureaucratic problems. Now we are all stressing, government is stressing, we will make it, there will not be any red tapeism, it will be red carpet. I have not seen any red carpet so far. We have achieved everything, except that it's all technology which is rented. It is not our own. We have nothing on our own. When we talk about Make in India, you think about, Sushruta, 500 BC. He described 126 surgical equipments, instruments. He divided anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, including immunology. Do we have anybody like that today? The frontal flap for reconstruction of the nose was described by him, which was later copied by the English. So we have no innovation. But for innovation, what is necessary? You need this is like bacteria to grow. You need a proper medium. We don't have. People are willing to work. People are intelligent. We are talking about brain drain. Why don't you look at ways and means of reverse brain drain? Nobody does it. And if anybody comes, they get disappointed and goes off. Why? That is my question. Sometimes I used to feel, why the hell I came back? Technologically, we are advanced. Whatever others can do, we are also doing. Say, for example, we are in stem cells, cardiac stem cells. We have got license to do cardiac stem cells up to 2018. So far, we have done 104 or 105 cases with good results. Stem cells cannot be used in US. FDA has not approved. If you go to Bangkok, the Americans are waiting in Bangkok hospital for stem cell therapy. They don't multiply amplification of the stem cells in Bangkok. What they do? They send it to Tel Aviv, Israel. Get it amplified and bring it and inject. We don't have to do that. We have technology of amplifying. We have done in 104 cases. We have shown that we can amplify. We can amplify red cells. So, if you amplify red cells, you have artificial blood. You don't have to carry bottles and bottles of blood to the, the front, in case of a war or a mass casualty. So, all these things we can do, which others are not doing. But where is the incentive? Nothing. The bank people will say, if you don't do that, I will sell your house. They are holding you at ransom. How can anybody sleep properly? How can you think? If in my age, if this is what I get, I will definitely say, youngsters, it is not worth until we have a formal policy. Bank will say, we have given you this, you have not paid, and we are not bothered what you make. You give us your money, our money. Otherwise, whatever is your mortgage or whatever is your collateral, we will sell it off. Now it is easy. We'll say, we will do an e-auction. I think, the way now our Honorable Prime Minister has directed, I think that is the best way. That is, say for example, a science park, medical science park, or a basic science park. The money which is allotted is 300 crores. That is nothing. When an equipment costs 10 crores or GLP, GMB facilities cost 50 crores, there is 300 crores for the whole country. So, it has to be increased. Like that, different areas are there, and the people who know about it should be made as advisors. And this bureaucracy, red tape is, as I said, has to be made red carpet. All the single window system, what you talk about, SEZ, we have an SEZ, is all not there. It doesn't work. All these things I have expressly conveyed it to Honorable PM. Whichever way I can. It is a good model, because now we are going to look after the cardiac patients for the whole state of Pondicherry. It is a good system. It is the corporate hospital which will be against, because they can't make much money. After all, most of the patients will belong to the BPL. So, 2/3 will come to you, but that is out of 1 lakh or 90,000 rupees. You won't be able to make enough money to have your shareholders' dividend going increasing. That social element, the medical, I told you what we have done, medical village. We have never made a medical city. That is all by the corporates in the cities. Now it is coming down to the 2-tier cities. But it has to be in the village. Now again, the attempt to start this skill development universities or skill development centers is very good. We have done that. Our center is in a village. That is why I said it is a medical village. We are training girls from there in basic aseptic techniques and basic microbiology, etc. So that if we start a valve production unit, they will be the ones who will be stitching these valves. In US, they get girls from mainland China on 6 months visa. They come, 6 months stay, stitch and go back. Why can't our girls do it? So there should be incentive. And they, you are, I mean, skill development universities are, at least in paper, are being developed. I hope it will materialize and it will help people, and so that the people will be able, especially the ladies, women folk, will be able to gain proper jobs with and earn money with dignity. Address is one's own conscience. See, if everybody is trying to backstab, then it will not. Why the transplant program has not taken over in our metropolis? Say Calcutta has never done one. Even though the first transplant was done in Delhi, All India Institute, how many they have done after that? Bombay, it seems last week they did one. When we did the first transplant in September 1995. So much of gap. Why? No coordination, no cooperation. Between hospitals, between doctors. Everybody wants, I have to be the first, I have to be that. I have to make my money. Corporate hospitals will support such people. You can, unless we change our outlook and we do it like the olden time doctors, having sincerity, having transparency, very important. Otherwise, our medical system cannot improve. I started a college by name Pondicherry Institute of Medical Sciences when I was with Madras Medical Mission. I got the whole thing done, and in fact I kept 5 seats for the children of Kargil veterans. But the people who were involved in it, they saw money, even though they didn't do anything. They saw money. So the whole thing went off. Naturally, now if you want to get an MBBS admission in an average college, it is minimum, it seems 50 lakhs. When I started that, I requested Dr. Abdul Kalam, he was not president at that time, to be on the advisory panel. He immediately agreed because I knew him before he became president. The reason was this: our medical curriculum is hopeless. I wrote to the MCA also. I was travelling with a young lady doctor whose father asked me to take her up to Mediville and explain to her. So I was talking to her. I told her during our time for MBBS, I said, I used to read anatomy well because I wanted to understand. But on physiology and biochemistry, I was so poor. Study for the exam purpose, mug it up and go and vomit it out. The next day, black.